On this fantasy episode of FPL Rivals, we go through game 36's, current game 36's point scorers. We look at the fixtures to target for the next 2 weeks, what teams are on the beach, what teams are nearly on the beach, and then we finish by talking about how to use your remaining FPL chips in the final 2 game weeks of the season. Welcome to FPL Rivals. Me and Butler again on a Tuesday night. We've probably only got this ep and next week left, as there's only 2 more game weeks to the season. We're currently in the middle of game week 36, but how are you getting on, mate? How's things?
Yeah, good. I've had a pretty good week in terms of fantasy. I think I'm on 77 points. Yeah,
A little too late now,
typical that it means nothing now for me.
Yeah,
could still maybe chase down the manager of the month for May, so we'll see. But yeah, good. Yeah, it's quite weird actually, because obviously Wimbledon's season finished 2 weeks ago now. So
yeah.
For me, it's a bit like, well, nearly 2 weeks ago. And everyone's kicking off about the title race, and I'm not really that interested. Like, everyone's like kicking off about this controversial. I'm not that bothered.
You're too worried about League One, mate.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm enjoying watching the playoffs. To be fair,
Yeah, it's good.
Like last night, Hull were really good. Bellumi, what a player he is!
Yeah,
oh
I remember
my
you talking
god,
about him. Did you
some
see the
player he is.
Rochdale game as well? See that?
Yeah, Rochdale won on penalties, didn't they? Scored in the 97th minute to equalise, to send it to extra time. Couldn't make that up, and then they won on penalties, didn't they? So they luckily got promoted, which is nice for them.
It was
and then
nice.
watching quite a tasty game right now between Middlesbrough and Southampton. I think it's the second half just about to start, or it's just started. So we won't get into too much detail, but a bit of Spygate going on there again. So I'm sure we'll talk more on that in the week, depending on the outcome.
That's it.
But I mean, if Middlesbrough can win, be an interesting playoff final, Hull versus Middlesbrough. It's not one that people would have predicted. I don't think.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, definitely not. But as this is a fantasy app, we will take our focus back to FPL. Not long left of the season. We're currently, as I just mentioned there, in the middle of game week 36. So the final fixture in this game week is tomorrow night. Tonight, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, it's City versus Palace. There is rumours, I know you put something in our group, Butler, that Pep is going to do a classic roulette job with his team. What was the actual quote?
2 seconds. I did have it up, but I've closed it, so hold on. He said, "I'm going to rotate the team, otherwise we cannot arrive at the FA Cup final or Bournemouth how we want to."
Interesting one. This is tough because, let's be honest, most people have Haaland. The 4 they probably have is Haaland, Semenyo, Cherky, and O'Reilly.
To me, that's him conceding that the league is probably done.
Yeah.
Right? It's unlikely that they're going to catch Arsenal now, given that Arsenal have got Bournemouth. So to me, it's more like, I've got to win the FA Cup.
Yes.
Let me. I haven't played Marmoush for a while, so let's give
him
Haaland
a little run out.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think he'll probably give
like
Foden
Cherky a little rest. Foden a run out. Yeah, fresh off his new contract. Think of people like Reinders, who haven't played for a while.
Yeah, agreed.
So there'll be an Ain't Nori, players like that. So it could be interesting to not probably see the 3 City players that we all have in our team, and that's O'Reilly, Cherky, and Haaland. So...
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. Like, I think if the Arsenal result had gone the other way on Sunday, we would have seen a full-strength City team. But as they got over the line, I think, he may go for the rotation, but it'll be interesting to see. But just before we jump into tonight's ep, just a little shout out to the top point scorers currently in game week 36. So 3 defenders, actually. Or 4 out of the top 5 are defenders. Absolutely. It's been a theme throughout the season. 2 Brighton defenders. So we had Maxim De Kuyper, who was actually tipped at the start of the year to be a little sort of dark horse, but has done absolutely nothing all season. But he rocked up with 2 assists and a clean sheet against Wolves. along with his teammate Lewis Dunk, who got 14. He got a goal and a clean sheet as well. And then we had Tarkovsky rocking up with a goal and assist against Palace for a 15-point haul. Again, he's one of those who was really, really tipped at the start of the year for DEFCON, was really good, and is absolutely faded. So he's come back strong with a 15-pointer. Let's be honest, if you've got a Tarkovsky in your team, you're doing very well at this stage. He's somehow still 12% owned, but we'll move on from game week 36 just to look at game week 37. So this is interesting, mate. I've got here teams to target. Obviously, we want to focus on teams to target, but there's notable amount of teams in the Prem now with only 2 games left that have got nothing to play for. So I've written here teams that are on the beach and nearly on the beach. So there's 6 teams that I'm considering on the beach who are sort of nothing to play for. You've got United, already guaranteed Champions League. Palace, who I think are really setting up for that Conference League final. You've got Forest, who are now safe. They're out of that Europe now. Leeds are safe. Burnley and Wolves are down. So they are all on the beach. Then you've got teams that are nearly there. You've got Liverpool, Villa, Fulham have nothing to play for, really mid-table, Sunderland and Newcastle. So those teams are probably teams to target in terms of teams who your players are playing against. But the teams who you want to be targeting for your own players are probably teams like Arsenal, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, Spurs, who all have something to play for. Arsenal obviously going for the league, Bournemouth going for Champions League along with Brighton, and Brentford are just going for that European football. And obviously Spurs are looking to stay up, mate. But just a little mention from you, a little shout from you. Any thoughts on what I've just said there about teams to target? Have I mentioned the most there?
Yeah, I think so. I think you've got them all. I think it's just interesting to see with the World Cup round the corner how many of those
Yeah.
players in those teams now will put their bodies on the line. I mean, talking about putting bodies on the line, Ben White did not put his body on the line and got tore his ACL.
Did he do his ACL, did he? Was it his ACL?
Yeah, he's out now. He's out till at least October. So,
Jesus.
well, did you not see it?
No, I did see it. I did see it,
He
yeah.
bottled out of going into the tackle, and he's done himself more damage by not going in for wussying out of the tackle. So yeah, it's him done. It's not good. He won't go to the World Cup. So
It's not.
yeah.
That's a nasty one. But we'll move on to Arsenal now. So I've just picked out 3 fixtures for the 3 home teams to target. So first is Arsenal at home to Burnley. I think if you're not tripled up on Arsenal, like, what are you doing? I think the triple up is absolutely essential. I think it's what triple up you do now. I mentioned a few weeks ago on this fantasy app that the defensive triple up was definitely something I was thinking about. I didn't do it, but it would have been an absolute masterstroke the last 3 weeks if Arsenal have kept 3 cleanos. So Gabriel and Raya have both scored 25 points in those 3 weeks, and Saliba's returned 18. So you could triple up in defence. I'm not going to lie. I would probably put my house on them keeping a clean sheet against Burnley. The only thing is, I don't think the likes of Gabriel Raya are going to get those bonus points or those DEFCON against Burnley. I may be wrong, but it's just other players to consider. So I've got a few here. I've got Trossard. He's 6.5 mil, only 1% owned, massive differential. He's got 15 points in his last 2 games with a goal against West Ham and an assist against Fulham. Saka's 10 mil, only 12% owned, and a goal and assist in his last 2. By 7.2 mil, 25% owned. Zay 7.3 mil, 9% owned, 1 goal in his last 3. And then obviously we've got Gyökeres, who's now 9 million owned, 16% owned after his 16-point haul against Fulham in game week 35 with 2 goals and an assist. Who do you have, mate? And who would you be targeting, or what triple up would you go for if you had a few transfers?
Well, I've already got Raya, so I'm definitely picking him. Definitely picking Raya, and then I've also got Gabriel. You can't not. I don't think you can have those 2. But out of the ones you've just called out, I think it's difficult. I think it's really difficult because I don't think with the Champions League final round the corner as well.
Yeah, agreed.
I think I mean, Saka would not be a bad shout if you've got the cash. I'm assuming a lot of people still have a bit of a cash lying around because you don't own many premium midfielders anymore. So I think Saka would be a good shout. He's been in brilliant form since he's come back, and he's really helped them. I think so. I think he's more of the sure thing out of those ones you've just called out to bring in. I'd say.
Yeah, I do like I was actually looking at putting I had the cash on must have been Sunday night. I was looking at moving João Pedro to Gyökeres. I had exactly the right money. And I looked at it today and Gyökeres has gone up 0.1, so I don't. But I'm actually quite interested in Leandro
I
Trossard,
don't know
sorry.
if Gyökeres will play every game though, because Havertz is back as well, isn't he? So
I was going to say that. That's why I was thinking about potentially bringing Trossard in. Again, I'm not sure. I still think he was going to go pretty strong, Arteta, against Burnley because they if they win
yeah,
that,
there's two.
they're pretty much guaranteed. So I don't think he'll change it too much. But I do think you're right with the Gyökeres. I'm not sure if he's going to start. I think he may start Havertz and maybe bring Gyökeres on. But I think. What do you
I have
think?
a feeling that he'd play Havertz in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
I just think the way Arsenal are going to be pretty defensive. I think against PSG, they're going to try and stifle them, and I think they're going to try and beat them 1-0. You can't go at a game with PSG like Bayern did, right? You can't go at them
And
like that. You're going to
outscore
have
him.
to
Yeah,
nullify. You can't try. You can't do that because they're going to outscore you. So
absolutely.
I think they're going to have to try and nullify them and try and play it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to give Havertz some more minutes against Burnley. But saying that, Gyökeres has become a bit of a bully recently. I mean, he wasn't great against West Ham, if I'm honest.
No, I just talking about Havertz there, mate. I quite like Havertz.
Yeah, but
7.3 mil.
is he guaranteed to start though? I think it's a risk, isn't it?
It is a risk, but
If
oh
you're
my
going to
gosh,
treble
it
up
could
on
be back.
Arsenal, he's not someone I would lean on. No, not in the Prem.
0.6% owned though. It'd be a naughty little differential, wouldn't it?
Would be, yeah, but
If you wanted to chase a bit of rank, like you got to go for these things. But obviously,
yeah, I
we're
suppose you
looking
got to take the
for.
gamble.
You do have to take the gamble. Moving on from Arsenal, is Brentford. So they're at home to Palace. So Brentford is still chasing European football. Palace very much looking ahead to the Conference League. So resting a few players potentially. Their squads. The only thing with Palace, their squad isn't massive. So even like you saw the likes of Sarr and that start the other day. So I was not sure Palace are
And
going to be
score.
weak and score classic. I think every time I've put him in this year, he obviously has done absolutely nothing. I think he's got. What was I reading today? He's got 20 goals in all comps, maybe, or 16 goals in all comps, or something.
I don't think
Really,
he's got 20 goals, has he?
I think it was 15 or 16 in all comps. That is. I'll check. I'll check that stat. Just,
I don't. I'm going to Google that right now. You carry on. I'm going to
yeah,
Google
you
Ishmael
you
Sarr.
you Google that. You Google that. But just talking about, I'm not really talking about Palace players. I'm talking about Brentford players. Obviously, we're looking at
Mate,
Thiago. So,
he's got 8 goals this season
and
in
that's
the
in the
Premier League.
yeah. I'm talking about in all comps. That's what I want.
20,
20, yeah. So he has got 20 goals in all comps. To be fair to the lad, isn't he?
9 in Europe. He's got.
It's decent, decent. Not that. That's why I'm putting him in my team. But let's get away from Sarr, otherwise I'm going to get distracted. But I've only got 2 Brentford players really. Like I think Thiago, obviously, he's 32% owned, 22 Prem goals now this year, 3 in his last 5. I think he'll really be trying to go for that 25 goal threshold. It would be an amazing season if he gets there. He's definitely one. I think I've had him for pretty much the whole season once I put him in. And there's not really anyone else I like apart from Queeveen Kelleher in goal, to be honest. I think I wouldn't necessarily be moving to Kelleher, but 4.8 mil, 12% owned. I think if you've got him, he's definitely a hold. Like he's got 19 points across his last 4 games with 2 clean sheets. Like he's a good budget keeper, I think. I think at this stage you're probably not looking to get rid of your keeper, particularly if, like me and Butler, you've got Raya. But if you want to, it's not a bad shout. But what about those two, mate? What do you think?
Yeah, I think those two are shoo-ins. Like you can't really look past either of them. Not Dango. No, he
I've
still
got
loves to get
Dango in my
assists from
team, but
pens,
he's
doesn't
done
he?
Yeah, I've got Dango in my team, but he's done absolutely nothing really. Like I can't. Let me just look at Dango. When was his last goal?
I,
His
yeah,
last goal was
it's been a while.
jeepers. His last goal was in game week 25.
Yeah, there you go. So probably not. Yeah, I think there's no other Brentford player. I'm sure the Medcraft brothers might chirp up if there's another Brentford player that we think's legitimate to get in
That's
your
it.
team, but I don't think so. I think it's just those
No.
two.
Absolutely not. And then the final team I've got down here is Everton. So they're at home to Sunderland. Still got, again, trying to go for European football. Got three players here. The first one, very, very underrated at the moment. So Beto. He's 5 million, only 3% owned. He's actually got 5 goals in his last 6 games. There's an
Cool.
excellent budget
Barry.
differential. Yeah.
He's
And
come
well,
in and replaced Barry.
he has, but Barry as well. You've got both of them. To be fair, I think he's probably going to start Beto, isn't he? Over Barry, but Barry obviously scored 2 against City, but apart from that, his stats are his fantasy points are absolutely horrendous. So I'll be going Beto over Barry. Then obviously you got Dewsbury Hall, 5.2 mil, 6.7% owned. He's actually got 30 points in his last 5 games with 2 goals and 2 assists. So if you really kept faith with Dewsbury Hall, you've really been rewarded this year. He's been an excellent asset. He's definitely, I think, one I'm going to look at the start of next season, like him and Elliot Anderson. It'll be really interesting to see what their
Well, Elliot
price is at the
Anderson's going
start
to
of next
City,
year.
isn't he?
Is he?
Supposedly. Suppose it's pretty much done.
I actually listened to an interview with Pereira the other day. He said, like, as much as he's technically unbelievable, like his mentality apparently is just absolutely out of this world. Like he's just
Yeah,
destined
Newcastle
to
must
just
be
go to the
crying
top.
that they let their academy kid go.
I know. And when he scored, it made me laugh when he scored at the weekend against them. Like they must be thinking,
Oh,
what the hell have we done there? Like it's just, it's one of those financial fair play horror stories, isn't it? It's just awful. But the last one as well is James Tarkowski. I think Everton are definitely looking better at the back. I think Sunderland at home is a good chance for a clean sheet. Obviously, he's coming off a 15-point haul against Palace. Usually good for DEFCON, 11.4% owned. The only thing is he's quite expensive. I probably wouldn't be paying 5.7 million for him. What do you think about Tarkovsky, mate?
I think, yeah, potentially as a replacement for those of you that have Van Dijk. Maybe you'd bring in Tarkovsky. I think that's probably a better option. I know I shipped Van Dijk off um, last week, um, which was I'm kind of glad I did because Liverpool just I don't know what's going on with
I
Liverpool.
know.
Um,
Same.
I'm a bit baffled that they're actually going to in the world we live in day and age when Slots clearly lost the fans.
Yeah,
And there's people like Xabi Alonso hanging around. I'm a bit baffled that they're going to stick with him really, but hey, you know that's a topic for another day. Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't take the risk on Tarkovsky. Everton are in pretty good nick. He seems to always be involved in the corners, so I'd say it's probably a fair shout.
absolutely. Absolutely. Right, let's just move on to talk
I
about chips. Go on, mate.
just one thing before we got onto that. Oh, I just wanted to say we were talking about City players, and we forgot to mention one player who I have noticed really makes Man City tick, and it's not Cherky, it's not Semenyo. It's since Doku has come into their
Yeah,
team,
true.
he's one of the only players that they've got really that will go at players, right?
Yeah,
So, and from my point of view, I think someone in our league took a risk on him, and it really has paid off because he's been great, um, especially more recently. Again, is he going to start? I don't know. They might rest him, but they can't rest
he has
everyone.
been
So
excellent. Yeah, he has been absolutely excellent. So he's got 11-point haul against Brentford, 15-point haul against Everton. So he's got 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 5. Like he's absolutely flying. Like it's a real shame because he sort of peaks and troughs throughout the season, doesn't he? Like he's definitely one when he's on form. If you've got him in your team, he's almost guaranteeing you points, isn't he? He's been exceptional the last few weeks.
Yeah, he is. Again, but it comes back to that City conundrum of who's he actually going to drop and who's he not going to drop, I suppose. But
That's it.
yeah. Anyways, sorry. Right, back to you.
Chips. So obviously we've got 2 weeks left. If you still have FPL chips, though, they can be used very, very well. Again, doesn't depends what you're doing. If you're playing head to head like us, the boys who are in the semi-finals who will be still have chips. They're obviously huge assets going into head-to-head games, but they're also huge in climbing your rank at the end of the season, aren't they? So just going to go through each chip and when is the best time to use them in these last 2 game weeks. So the first one is the triple captain. So Arsenal's game week 37 home fixture against Burnley stands out as the best time to play the triple captain chip. The likes of Bukayo Saka, 10 million, Victor Gyökeres, 9 million, should enjoy themselves against the league's worst defence for goals conceded. Thoughts, mate? Triple captain has to be this week, doesn't it?
I mean, if I'm totally honest, if you've still got chips left with 2 weeks to go, boring. Like, what are you doing?
I
You should
think
have
if you
used them
haven't,
by now.
and if you didn't use your triple captain last week with that City double game week, like you shouldn't have it at this stage, should you?
Yeah, what
Realistically,
if you've got a triple captain, you're not playing the game properly. I'm sorry. Like at this stage, like the only people who really should have chips left are those in our league that have hoarded them for the playoffs. Apart from that, I don't think you should really. It's too unpredictable at this point of the season to
that's it.
to play. You don't know who's going to start and who's not. Even like
I
with a
think
bench boost, it's a bit
that's
risky.
exactly it.
Like
That's exactly it. I think moving on as well to the wild card chips. Again, if you've got it to this stage, like I don't know how you've got it. However, it makes sense to use it in game week 37 as opposed to game week 38. This would allow you to fill your squad with informed players from teams that actually have something to play for. So we mentioned those teams that are already on the beach, but it's the likes of Arsenal, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, Spurs, also City as well. But I'd probably go more towards those 5 teams, which would allow you to then sort of fill your squad with players that actually are playing for something. I think that's really essential and a really good way to use your wild card if you still have it for some reason. Thoughts on that one, mate?
yeah, again, it, again, it's a high risk because of what of other teams now are in other competitions that have nothing left to play for. So you've really got to be careful with that wild card who you're going to pick on. And yeah, as you said, you've got to pick on those teams that have sort of something to play for. But even then, like do you really want to
Tough,
touch
isn't it?
Spurs players?
No, you probably
Really?
don't. Like,
Like
who do you even
they
who do you even
still
go?
look. They were lucky last night, I'd say, to get a point because really, if it wasn't for a worldy Kingsky save.
Yeah,
They should have lost that game, and
I
then
know. What is Tell
I
doing as well for that penalty? Like, absolutely.
yeah, it's
I
just
think that
pure
sums up
plums.
Spurs' season in an absolute
But the
nutshell. You've got
atmosphere in that ground is
oh,
dreadful as well.
but
Like
what
the
about
fans
like
would,
Tell scoring a worldie and then trying to do an overhead kicked clearance in the box? Like, what is he
yeah, like what you
thinking?
do. Yeah, it's just clown behave. God, I hope they go down, but I don't think they will now. I
No,
really do. I really
no, I
think
don't.
West Ham are in proper bother,
Yeah, they are.
which
They
is a
are
shame
after
because
it.
I quite like West Ham to stay up. But there we go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely that. Just moving on to bench boost. So this you may potentially have this. It's quite a difficult chip to use and get rid of, but again, game week 37 stands out as a strong week to play this chip. Brentford, Everton, and Leeds appeal as teams in strong budget picks and favourable home fixtures against Palace, Sunderland, and Brighton, respectively. Don't think we have to talk too much about the bench boost, mate, do we? It's one of those chips like if it's
If you
played
get it
well,
right, well done.
yeah, it's amazing. But I think that's very much luck, isn't it? To be honest, rather than
Yeah,
strat.
it's a luck, and I think at this stage of the season, if you've got it, you've got it because you forgot about it. Like
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
realistically, I think the bench boost now is a huge risk because I think there's a lot of players that, as you say, there's a lot of teams on the beach. I think there'll be a lot of players that will be injured before the World
yeah,
Cup,
absolutely.
um, and won't want to put their body on the line. You don't want to be picking up an injury now
No,
when the World
absolutely
Cup's
not.
less than a month away.
That's it. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right, just to finish, this is an interesting one though. If you have somehow kept your free hit till now, Free hitting in game week 38 could be a really fun option, to be fair. Like, it would enable you to go with plenty of differential picks in a final bid to win your mini league and gain rank on the rest of the world. Alternatively, game week 37 would allow you to triple up on Arsenal against Burnley if you haven't already done so. What do you think, mate, if you got that? I'd love to have it for game week 38. It would be so, so cool.
It'd be it'd be like you just chuck anyone in, couldn't you, on that? There's always loads of goals on the last game week because, as I said, no one really wants to get put in tackles, so there's some shit defending going on. I guarantee Salah gets a hat trick in his last Liverpool game.
Is he fit? Is he fit?
Apparently, he's going to play. Whether he's fit or not, I do not know. But
It
they
would be
said he's
class.
going to come back. They'll like win a penalty or something, and he'll have to take it before he leaves. But yeah, it's just free hit is probably a good time to play it as the last day of the season. Just chuck loads of randoms in there and hope that it pays off.
It
I
would be
suppose in the
class.
last week, what have you got to lose?
Yeah, I know, not giving anyone away, but I know who one of our players in our league is planning on, if he gets to the final, using his free hit, I think.
Oh, it'll be Nixie then, or Pete.
If he's got it, it's like he's got a good plan. But
If it's Nixie, he's very much on the edge right now with Mike. That is a very tight. That is a very tight battle.
Should we just
going
quickly
to go down? If Haaland does not play, it is a painful one for Nixie, I'd say.
Should we just quickly go over those before we finish? Our quarterfinals in our league, we have Ben.
Let me see if I can get them up.
Hold on. Get them up, mate, if you can. Go on, that'd be great, and we can just talk about those quickly.
Yeah. So so you just call out who we've got, and I'll get.
So we've got
them up.
Ben currently absolutely destroying Smithy, 82-53. That one's done.
Yeah, that's over. That's over. Smithy's got nothing left, has he?
I think he's got his Semenyo captain, but Ben's got triple captain on Haaland. So that's done.
So that's done. So we don't even need to bother about that. Unlucky Smithy. I think this is done as well because
have 94 points against Balf 74.
It's all over. But Balf can't come back.
No,
it's done.
Trav's absolutely battered.
This is the tight one where we did say these are the best two managers probably in the playoffs, but Mike did get lucky in the fact that Gibbs White did not play and Senesi is coming off his bench for those 8 to give him the lead. But if Haaland does not play, as people suspect him not to play tomorrow night, then it's a disaster. It's a disaster, I think, for Nixie. To be fair. I think if Haaland does not play, it's an absolute disaster. I can't believe it's only down to 1 point between them. Madness. And
is madness.
Then I think this one is done as well. Unless Cherky has an absolute stormer. It's not going to load now, is it?
Yeah, Mike's got Semenyo, Nixie's got Cherky, and obviously Mike has captained O'Reilly. Triple captained O'Reilly, and Nixie's triple captained Haaland. So literally, it all depends on the starting lineups. It's absolute madness. And then the final game is again absolutely done and dusted. Peaks is on 85 against Matt, who's got 55, 30 points. Peaks has absolutely destroyed Matt there. I think Peaks at
unless Cherky scores a hat trick.
Peaks at 14. Peaks at 14 to 1 odds. Drop your house on that. He's destroyed Matt, and he's in a really good position.
Yeah, Matt going in with no chips hurting, didn't it? So
it did. It did absolutely.
That's the end of that one. But yeah,
sweet,
it should be close. We're 1 game to go. I think Ben's looking very pretty. If I'm honest.
He's looking good. He is looking good. To be honest, his team looks good as well.
I just don't want him to win. I fucking hope he loses.
We'll discuss, but that's the end of the ep there. We'll discuss all things quarterfinals, playoffs, everything on our Friday episode. But like I said at the start, I probably only one more of these left, one more fantasy ep to take us into game week 38. But always a pleasure, mate, and may the fantasy gods be with you. We'll see you Friday.
See you Friday.